Last time, we left the ocean at 200 meters, right at the edge where sunlight starts to give up. Cross that line and you enter something that isn't quite day and isn't quite night either. Scientists call it the Twilight Zone. And the first thing it does to you is take away your colors. Welcome to episode 2. Here's something most people never think about. Sunlight isn't one single thing. It's made of different wavelengths, different colors, all traveling together. And water doesn't treat them equally. Red light is the first to go, absorbed within just a few meters of the surface. Then orange disappears. Then yellow. By the time you reach the Twilight Zone, only blue and grey light remain, filtered and weak, arriving from directly above like a fading afterthought. Which means down here, the color red functionally doesn't exist anymore. And that single fact quietly rewrote the rules of survival for everything living in this zone. Animals that are red down here aren't showing off. They're hiding in plain sight, with no red light left to reflect off their bodies. A red colored creature simply reads as black invisible, in a place where visibility is the difference between eating and being eaten. Now here's where this zone gets genuinely strange. For decades, ships using sonar to measure ocean depth kept detecting something bizarre, a false ocean floor. A dense layer reflecting sound waves back, exactly where the real seabed should have been thousands of meters deeper. It wasn't a false floor at all, it was life. An almost unimaginable quantity of fish, squid, and other creatures, densely packed together in this exact zone, so vast in sheer biomass that it was bouncing sonar signals like solid ground. Scientists eventually understood what they were actually looking at. The largest migration on Earth, happening every single night, right here in the Twilight Zone. As the sun sets on the surface, this entire deep scattering layer begins rising upward, traveling hundreds of meters to feed near the surface under cover of darkness. Then, just before sunrise, it sinks back down again, retreating to depth before daylight predators can find it. Some individual animals make this exact same commute, up and down every single night of their lives. This happens every night, all over the world's oceans, involving more combined animal weight than any other migration on the planet, dwarfing anything you'd see on land, whether it's wildebeest crossing the Serengeti or birds crossing continents. And most people alive today have never heard of it. So who exactly is making this journey? Meet the lanternfish. Small, unassuming, barely a few inches long, easy to overlook entirely, and by total biomass, likely the single most abundant vertebrate species on planet Earth. There may be more lanternfish by weight than every human being combined, quietly rising and falling in the dark every night while the rest of the world sleeps. Then there's the hatchetfish, with eyes fixed permanently upward, scanning the water above for the faint silhouette of prey passing between it and the last traces of surface light. Using a technique some scientists compare to counter-illumination, matching its own glow to the dim light above to erase its own shadow entirely. And perhaps strangest of all, the barrel fish, whose head is almost completely transparent, allowing its tubular eyes to rotate and peer directly upward through its own skull, tracking movement above without ever having to turn its body. When it was first properly filmed alive in its natural habitat in the early 2000s, it genuinely surprised biologists who had only ever studied damaged specimens pulled up in nets. Every one of these adaptations exists for a single reason. surviving in a place where light is scarce, direction matters more than color, and every advantage counts. Now here's something that connects this strange zone directly back to your own life, whether you've ever thought about it or not. The Twilight Zone plays a critical role in what scientists call the biological pump, a process where carbon absorbed near the surface gets carried downward through the ocean, partly through the daily migration we just described. This process helps regulate the amount of carbon dioxide in Earth's atmosphere, making the Twilight Zone a quiet, largely unstudied piece of the planet's climate system. And it's already drawing modern attention for a very different reason too. The sheer scale of biomass here has researchers and companies exploring it as a potential future food and fish meal source, raising real current questions about what large-scale harvesting from a barely understood ecosystem could actually mean. So this zone isn't just a strange dim layer we pass through on the way to somewhere darker. It's actively shaping the air you breathe and the climate you live in every single day without most of the planet knowing it exists. But the Twilight Zone is still technically a lit place. Dim, fading, barely there, but lit. Cross below 1000 meters and that changes completely. Sunlight disappears entirely. And in that absolute darkness, something remarkable happens. Life starts making its own light. So here's a question for you before the next episode. Why do you think animals evolved to produce their own light in total darkness? Take a guess and drop it in the comments. We'll cover the real answer in full next time. See you in the next one.